All right, good evening, Hockey Talk with Anand friends. Welcome. It's been a while that I have live streamed or talked to all of you. The Flames are playing today. The NHL has a busy slate. Welcome aboard. I have a special guest joining me right here soon. But we'll talk about that guest in a moment. But if you are here for Calgary Flames news, of course, the Calgary Flames are playing tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks. It's a 6:30 p.m. puck drop. So we'll take it through right until game time almost. We'll see how long we can extend this chat with my guest. But the Flames in a struggling run, 5, 12, and 3 to begin the season, 32nd in the NHL. Struggling with their power play, with their scoring, whatnot, name it. There is some big news as well to share in the Calgary Flames front, but we'll save that for towards the end of the show. So if you're just joining us, welcome. I see a few people on our Instagram feed already. Welcome aboard. I see a few people on our Facebook feed and YouTube feed. Welcome. I hope I'm live streaming to Twitter as well. I'm not seeing any stats on that. But welcome nonetheless if you're watching. But joining me this afternoon or this evening, I guess, is my good friend, a mentor of mine, I guess. I worked with him during last season's Calgary Canucks regular season. Dane, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me. How are you this evening?
Thank you so much for having me, Anand. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it. I know you have something exciting coming up as well. We'll talk about that towards the end. But we worked together during the Calgary Canucks season last year. You were the play-by-play guy, and you still are the play-by-play guy. I took on a different role. I went to High River Flyers to be part of the High River Flyers, doing play-by-play for them. Exciting for both of us. Dane, first of all, tell us a little bit about the Calgary Canucks season. Looks like they're having a promising start compared to last year. They won the Centennial Cup championships, and looks like they haven't thought about letting go of the gas pedal. They are in the top in the South Division. Tell us a little bit about that success.
So I think a lot of people in the league were really skeptical of the Canucks and what they were capable of doing this year. And the sole reason for that being, they just had like 4 or 5 guys come back from that entire championship winning roster from last year. A lot of guys moved on to play NCAA hockey. A lot of guys graduated to the Western Hockey League. Notably among them would be guys like Luke Trevors, Nathan Maloney. And we knew that Maloney wasn't coming back when toward the end of the season the Hurricanes had signed him in Lethbridge there. And I was talking to him on the ice after they won, and I said, no one in this organization is ever going to fault you for taking opportunities like that, jumping up to the next level. And I think it says a lot about the Canucks in terms of their ability to develop players over the last few seasons, starting to develop a lot of guys that are capable of playing at that next level at the Western Hockey League. A lot of guys who are going off to college now as well. But back to the original point, 4 to 5 guys returning. Looking at that on paper, it doesn't matter how skilled a team you are, what level you're playing. I think the thought is that's going to be a team that's going to struggle. But full credit to Matt Robinson and Brandon Coles and Riley Hearn, the coaching staff. They've done a great job recruiting, especially at that WHL level. Guys who were kind of late cuts from rosters, but still looking to play competitive hockey. The Canucks' approach this season has been like, hey, a lot of people are not thinking we have it to pull off the three-peat, but that is very much the goal, and I think it shows in their recruiting. Still top of the South Division, which is, I would say, for those within the Canucks organization, that would be the expectation that we'd be at the top again. But for a lot of folks outside the organization and people who are looking at that 4 to 5 guys returning, I think they were thinking we were going to be a 5th place team in the South, and still early. We're about a third of the way through, but obviously we've proved the doubters wrong, we'll say.
Yeah, 100%. I know Luke Travers is killing it in the Calgary Hitmen in the WHL. Borden Singleton is at Montreal University. And like you said, Nathan Maloney with the Lethbridge Hurricanes, who all three have been doing really excellent. And wonderful team to follow. So, fans, if you haven't checked out an AGHL Calgary Canucks game, I recommend you to head out to Maxwell. Dane, couple of questions from the chat for you. Do you know when the postponed matches for the two Maxwell games will be held again? For those who don't know, Maxwell ice situation had a problem over the weekend, so they have postponed the match. Do you have any idea when those new two matches will be?
So I'm not involved in those types of decisions. I haven't heard anything yet. But if you're looking for an update, I would just say follow along with the Canucks social media channels. That's where you'll get that news as soon as they know themselves.
All right, perfect. And Mackenzie Grafton saying, hey, Dane and Anand. Mackenzie Grafton, of course, part of our Calgary Canucks media behind the scene groups.
He just
Uh,
got back from a safari trip in Africa.
Yeah, he did definitely. I hope he enjoyed that. Mackenzie Grafton, let us know how your vacation was. But a couple of interesting players on the Calgary Canucks. Then we were talking about off air, including Adam Halat, who has like a tree of family within the hockey world. So his cousin Noah plays in the you said Drumheller Dragons, and Adam Halat plays for the Calgary Canucks. What have you seen from Halat and the family in general?
So, unfortunately, they haven't had the opportunity to play against each other yet. I was talking to the last time Drumheller was in town, so for the second time this season, um, I had learned that from Jason Drumheller's road play-by-play guy that the two of them were cousins. Prior to that, I didn't know, but Adam played that first game against Drumheller. Noah was scratched. And then for the second game, Noah was in the lineup, Adam was not. So I was asking him, I was like, when are you guys going to get to play against each other here? So, I know the Canucks played a game in Drum. I think it was a 5 or 6 nothing win, but I wasn't looking too closely at the rosters. It's possible they played a game against each other, but not 100% sure. We could look that up, but
Yeah, I was trying to do that as we speak. Well done.
I can kill more time if you need to look that up. But yeah, I know he came as a pretty highly touted prospect, having dominated the league he was playing in last year. So the team's real excited to see what he's capable of in terms of, because he was just a point production machine. So definitely that's a guy that they're excited to see kind of go off. And your first year making that jump from whether it's CSSHL or AEHL or a similar U18 league or junior B, like there's usually some growing pains associated with just adapting to the pace of play in junior A. But I do not have any doubt that he'll find that gear, and he's gonna really help out the Canucks in terms of putting up some points.
Yeah, also the Calgary Canucks got in return from last season Riley Bracco, who was made the captain. When Borden Singleton left the team to had to play for Montreal University. What have you seen from Riley Bracco this season?
So I was talking to, for those that don't know, his sister Lindsay is one of the off ice volunteers. So we see a lot of her and the Bracco family, obviously. Riley and Lindsay's mom and dad, and their grandmother Evelyn. They are at pretty well every Canucks home game. They're a staple in that section there that they sit in. Um, and I noticed it in the preseason. Like Riley was going into these battles in the corners against guys, quite a bit taller than he was, and he was just coming out with the puck, just like really throwing his weight around. And I said to Lindsay, I said, has Riley been hitting the gym this summer pretty hard or what? And she said, oh yeah, he's just been obsessive. And then another preseason game, Riley's in the box. It wasn't. He was just a healthy scratch. When he's your captain, he's on the team. Probably a matter of at the time, Pilipuke, the coach, trying to figure out maybe fringe guys whether they're going to make the roster or not in that last preseason game. So I said to Riley, I said like, "Hey, you've been hitting the gym this summer?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, the good thing when you go all the way to nationals is that obviously you get to play a lot longer than other teams. The bad thing is it's a short off season, and he did say he would have liked another month of training, hitting the gym hard before coming back. But obviously he put in a lot of work in the off season, and it's really showing."
Interesting. Good to know. Yeah. Good luck to all these players. Yeah, just check the score sheet of that 6-0 game you said, Dane, but no Adam Hallard for the game against Ramela, but Noah Hallard did play, so they still haven't played each other. So hopefully that day comes true. We'll see if that comes out to be.
One day.
All right. Let's talk about a bit of the NHL. I know you don't follow the NHL closely enough, Dane, but you told me one of your favorite teams would be the Calgary Flames. Have you paid attention to the Calgary Flames at all this season?
I have. So I don't watch a lot of NHL just because of my commitment with the Canucks. It's a or it's a hard sell to come home and after work and be watching NHL. My wife gets enough hockey from my involvement with the Canucks, so don't get a ton of time to watch hockey otherwise. But at work, the guy that I work with when we're driving the van around, he's always got the AM the fan on. So I've been keeping up through the radio, just with the goings on of the Flames this season. Obviously, not a great start to the season, but I think if you're a realist, you had to expect that this was coming. It's maybe a bit worse than I would have expected, but at the same time, like being a Flames fan and seeing years of this, hey, let's make a last minute push and win a bunch of games and try to get into the playoffs, and sacrificing a higher draft pick to do so. I think I know there's a lot of fans who are really frustrated with that kind of mindset and approach that the team is, whether intentional or not, it is an approach that the Flames have taken over the last several years. So I think there are quite a few people who are just of that mindset, that they're happy with this because they want a Gavin McKenna on their team. And I mean, who wouldn't? He's obviously an incredibly talented player who brings a pretty special offensive upside to the team. Um, Oddly enough, the Canucks or the Flames are playing his cousin and Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. Um, and they'd love to be doing the same again with McKenna on their roster come next season. Um, so are they worse off than I expected a year ago? Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. When you see like Connor Bedard or Macklin Celebrini or maybe even a Nathan McKinnon in the Colorado Avalanche, those first round picks that make a difference within a team. If you can get that one elite talent, I know the Flames are not far enough. Like they have the franchise goaltender Dustin Wolf, they have Zane Parek in defenseman. If they can get maybe a one or two elite more forwards, so like a Gavin McKenna, if that is, or I think there is one guy named Stenberg in this draft coming up, or a defenseman in Keaton Verhoff. If the Flames can snag one of them, I think they're a good run. And I know they have missed the playoffs a couple of seasons already, which was painful to watch because it's you don't have that scoring. They struggle to score. You saw that last season, but somehow they ended up at 96 points, which is just 1 point out of the playoff spot. So curious to see how this will all end up. I know it will be a long season, but I think
You
it's worth the pain though.
you talked about the lack of scoring, and I saw something today that said, based on where players are projected to the points they're projected to finish with, Kadri and Huberto are on pace to hit exactly 50 points in 82 games. And then I think Frost is somewhere in that 45 to like 48 range. There's another player who's in that range as well, but otherwise, like you said, scoring has been hard to come by this season for the Flames.
Yeah, I know they take, like, they most games they outshot the opponent, but somehow they can't just find it at the back of the net. I don't know why it has been a struggle. Of course, one of the possibilities is they don't have that elite talent, but some of those shots that they take are not high danger enough. And yeah, I agree. So looking to tonight's game specifically, Dustin Wolf is gonna get the nod. He will start for the Calgary Flames, along with Arvid Soderblom for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's expected to start. Of course, a backup goaltender. You know how that will go for the Flames. They have struggled against backup goaltenders. They struggled against the Blackhawks were in town a couple weeks ago. They mightily struggled. It was the Connor Bedard show, like we talked about, then. And a couple of news for the front for the Calgary Flames. No Zane Perek, he's still on IR with an upper body injury. They just placed Sam Honzak on injured reserve as well with an upper body injury. And they have recalled Dryden Hunt and Sam Morton. And they claimed John Beecher of waivers from the Boston Bruins this afternoon. So he's expected to join the team in Buffalo tomorrow. Um, so that's the Flames news. And now let's get to something exciting for you, Dane. I know you have launched something or are in the process of launching something like I'm doing right now, a podcast, which is always exciting. I always love helping share the word of what my friends does and what my colleagues does. And tell us about your little exciting project that you're launching soon here, Dane.
Absolutely. Yeah, that I know that was one of the main reasons you brought me on was to talk about it. So I do really appreciate you giving me the platform just to talk about it a bit. So I'd always wanted to start a podcast, but there's so many, excuse me, there's so many hockey podcasts out there or sports podcasts in general. And I always had like a bit of a reluctance or hesitation to do it because I had always thought, there's so many podcasts out there. What do I have to say that, or what do I have to say that hasn't been said already? And I was driving around in the work van one day, and the idea hit me like I should just interview other broadcasters for the most part. Hence the name Voices of the Game is what the podcast is going to be called. Because in my career, I've been very fortunate to meet some pretty interesting people who are doing some pretty cool things at all levels of the game. So, what better opportunity than to have others hear their stories? Because that's what people like, right? Is an interesting story. Um, you know, Wayne Gretzky, yeah, like his autobiography would be, I'm sure it would sell well, but like versus Derek Sanderson's, where there's that story that keeps people hooked, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with this podcast is give the listeners interesting stories, but also I want to use it as kind of like a resource for younger broadcasters that are, they might be in a school like say like you were yourself, or like a Conestoga College, and just kind of give them an idea of what it takes to get started in this business, what game day routines look like, and just to give them that kind of experience it like at all levels too. Like how do you go from being that guy who's, you're at state, you're doing Trojans games because you're in the announcing streamline, to like being one of these guys who does American Hockey League or NHL games. There's a lot kind of in between there, right? Like there's say, and then there's the NHL. And if you're looking at the NHL, like it's the peak, the end of the road. There's a lot of different pathways you can take in between leaving radio college and getting there. So really, just want to kind of give some maybe some insights to student broadcasters, and just kind of give them some interesting perspective and resources about stuff as well. But as I said, not exclusive to broadcasters. I have friends that are equipment managers and trainers, people who do marketing within sports, um, art that is geared towards sports. There's a lot of people that I have on a short list that I would like to have on, yourself included. So I'm excited to start bringing this to the world. I just got to do some equipment testing and editing and whatnot, and then should hopefully have this launched in the next week or two here.
All right, that sounds really cool. Looking forward to being part of it. Looking forward to listening to it as well. Of course, I'll be able to gain some knowledge and experience with that. Broadcasting is an interesting journey. Like you said, there are a lot of behind the scene parts that's involved, like preparation, going to do the games, different things you get to call, different games, what it offers. So really interesting and looking forward to it. Dane, where can people find you? Where you are on? Where you are on social media? Where can people find you? And where can people listen to this podcast that you're going to launch in a few weeks?
So the podcast does have an Instagram page, Voices of the Game. I'll once I record and edit, I'll upload to Spotify, iTunes, not iTunes. What is it? Apple Podcasts, YouTube. What other platforms are there? Like where do you post your podcast? Those are the three I know.
Instagram,
I'm sure
Twitter,
I'm missing
Facebook,
some.
all over. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
All
so
right.
that is the plan.
Cool. All right, we are approaching the 25-minute mark. Anything else you want to add, Dane? Maybe you want to throw a couple questions at me. I'll look over through the Instagram chats here soon. But any final comments? Anything you want to ask me that you're urging to get answered, or any questions for the fans? I guess.
So I do have a lot of questions for you, Anand, but I'm going to wait until I have you on my podcast to ask them.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So let's see. There is somebody saying when you commented on my game, I got an edit. So I'm guessing I feel like I see the logo of HC Edmonton. So I believe that's one of the junior premier hockey leagues games that I did. That's cool. Welcome. And our friend Alex, who used to work at our Calgary Canucks games, he's saying, I haven't heard from you for a long time. How was your vacation? I'm guessing that's for me. Alex, my vacation was good. I was in Mexico. I don't know, Dane. I think I told you, right? I was in Mexico for about a
I
week
did
or
see
so
it. Yep.
a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was fun. It was my dad and mom's 30th wedding anniversary. It was really fun. We did dolphin swimming, city tour, unlimited food, and unlimited drinks. So if you ever want to go to Mexico, I recommend you to do so. Just watch out for those sneaky tourist traps they have. That's something you might get caught on. Max is asking how many live videos are you starting? I don't know yet. I'll do whenever I get guests on or how many chances I get on. And I think that's about it. So, unless Dane, you don't have anything, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it. And yeah, people follow Dane's podcast coming up soon, Voices of the Game. Looking forward to that. And I'll be sure to share that one as well. Dane, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm sure it will be a great weekend ahead for you.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for having me, and good luck this year with the Flyers. Hope they have a good season and you get to call a lot of fun games.
Yeah, fun games coming up next weekend is the teddy bear toss they're doing apparently. So I think whichever Flyers scores the first goal, the teddy bears will get to get thrown onto the ice. I'm excited to say maybe, oh, the teddy bears are flying onto the ice. I haven't done like a teddy bear toss game. I haven't, like I've seen through the Calgary Headman, but I haven't called one specifically. So I'm excited to do that.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun, so enjoy that.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. My name is Anand, your host with Hockey Talk with Anand, and guest Dane Nobrega coming up at 6:30. So in 20 minutes time, it's the Calgary Flames and the Chicago Blackhawks. Enjoy the game. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourself a great rest of your day and the weekend. You are watching Hockey Talk with Anand.